Hi Long Range Hunting. Today we're going to be talking about different types of braking in the rifle. Now what I want to talk about with this is everybody talks about barrel break-in, and basically what a barrel break-in is running ammunition through there and cleaning, and what that does is it smooths out any imperfections from the gunsmithing. Now with a custom, it's going to be a little bit different. Factory rifle, it really is something that I recommend. It's needed. Again, it's just smoothing out any imperfections, and it can vary depending on what the manufacturer recommends as far as break-in. I follow whatever they recommend. Just again, that's what they say. That way I have no issues with warranty. If there is an issue, I can say I did it by the book, exactly how they wanted. So barrel break-in, follow the manufacturer's instructions. But that's actually not what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about today is bolt break-in. I see a lot of people with bad bolt manipulation, and breaking it in and getting that practice in is not only going to smooth up your bolt, but it's also going to make it much easier for you to run that bolt. A couple problems I see a lot of the time is guys, and they're used to cheap guns, and there's a lot of resistance. It's really not smooth. And so what they do, especially when they get on a nice custom or something, is they take this bolt, instead of pushing it straight forward, they push up, and they're actually forcing it up against the top part of the action, and they're grinding it along, and it's not helping them. They're basically fighting the gun. I mean, you can see I can just flip this thing shut. Just as if you put your finger on the back here of the bolt assembly, and you just slowly push it forward. That's how you should be going. You don't want to be fighting the gun. The other thing I'd see is guys trying to hurry, and they'll try to, when they get to this point right here, they're trying to force it down to get it faster. Well, the problem is, again, now you're just fighting the bottom of the action. If you really want to run it properly. And what that is going to be is you go up, you're going to go all the way back till you hit that wall where that bolt release stops. You have the stop. And what it's going to do is not only help you practice with proper bolt manipulation, but it's also going to make sure that you're not short stroking. And what that is when you go to run that bolt and you don't go all the way back, and it's going to sit on that round, and it's either going to move forward without chambering around, or it's going to force it and stovepipe it, and then you're trying to deal with a malfunction. You're never going to have that problem if you run it all the way to the back. So running bolt manipulation is very simple. If you're back here, you're going to just push straight in, go all the way forward till you hit that stop, and then down. Same in the back. So back, hit that wall, forward, down, back, and you just, I mean, you can see it's very quick. I'm not forcing the bolt. I can actually, I can do this with a finger. So it's one of those things that it's a lot easier with a custom. Now this I just cleaned. It is completely dry. I have not added anything. And you can still see how smooth that action is. I mean, I don't need to put any undue pressure. I can do this with one finger all day, and it's just going to glide really well. So it's one of those things that just remember, up all the way, back all the way, forward all the way, down all the way. And just practice that. That's going to really help you to manipulate your bolt, and the more you practice, the faster you're going to get at it. Again, this is dry, so it's not running as smooth as it normally would, but breaking in the bolt is something I highly recommend. Just like the barrel, the bolt is going to have some resistance. It just depends on the action itself. I mean, a match action like this, a custom action, isn't going to have, it's going to be better off to begin with. Quality control, the materials, the attention to detail. But even these are going to smooth out. My stiller on my 300 is just, I mean, it's absolute glass. It's ridiculous. I'll get people on there. I've had it for a couple of years now, but I'll get people on there and I'll say, okay, dry fire, run the bolt. And they'll go to close the bolt and they just get off the gun and look at me and say, wow. Because again, it's that smooth. So it's one of those things that what I recommend doing and what I do, and I've been doing it for almost 2 weeks now with this, and it's smoothed up probably 40 to 50% smoother already, is I'm just doing this. I'm not putting any undue pressure on it. I'm just running it back and forth like this along that natural path to wear in, and I'm putting some lubrication on it. And then I'll also run it, just open, close, and I'll just run it. And what this is doing is it not only is smoothing out your bolt, but it's allowing you to learn your weapon system. You're going to get a better feel for it. And so I'm going to go ahead and take a second, and lube this up, and I'll show you what it's running like when it's not dry. Okay, now I've lubed it up. What I'm using is something I got from Nighthawk Custom, which is a Gibbs brand lubricant. And all I'm really doing is on the lugs, I'm just spraying a spray on each lug, and I'll put a little bit on the bolt body when I'm breaking it in. But as far as when I go to run it, as far as once it's broken in, I'm just going to do a spray on each lug. It's going to be smooth, it's going to be good to go. But I know it's kind of hard to tell as far as, you know, without actually feeling it, but it's glass. It's smooth, there's no resistance, there's no binding, there's no nothing. It's just as smooth as you can be. Again, I can run this entire operation with a finger without any problems as far as function goes. So I can run it like that, and you can just keep mixing in. And I recommend, again, when you're trying to break it in, especially at first, don't run it dry. Put a little bit of lubrication on there and just run it for hours. And again, it's going to teach you, it's going to help break this in, and it's going to make a major difference, especially on getting that bolt operating. The smoother it is, the faster you can be. You know, but again, you want to be smooth. So don't try to push up or down or anything like that. Just let the bolt run exactly how it was designed to be. You know, up to unlock, back, forward, down. It's that simple. It's going to, again, that's just glass. I'm going to show you guys a closer view. So you can see this bolt, it's nice and smooth. See, there's no resistance. I'm not straining hard to do this. This is just as simple and nice and easy as possible. Again, you can just run it. I'm not putting any effort into it. I can run it very simply. I'm not having to grab and jerk back and all this. I'm actually using fingers and functioning the entire bolt. You can do it with your hand. You can do several different variations of how you want to operate that bolt. But either way, again, just straight back, forth. And I just do this. It's just like almost sanding it down with a fine grit. You're just smoothing out any imperfections and causing it to just get worn in. And most people will never shoot a gun enough to actually run it like I have in the last 2 weeks, just at your house. You don't have to fire any rounds, and it's going to make it so your gun is a lot smoother in operation. Something I do want to cover real quick though is magazines. Getting quality magazines, you can have some issues with that if you don't have good quality. A prime example is I have a mag pull that I got with this, and it's plastic. I'm not really a big fan of it, but as you run that, you can see I'm already meeting resistance until I'm actually fighting it. You can see how unsmooth that is. As far as, you know, a magazine goes, it's not functioning properly. It's causing way too much resistance. Now this is just an Accuracy International mag. Had this thing for years, but you can see how much smoother that is. I'm not getting any extra resistance and not doing anything. It's still that same operation. So get a good quality mag. I understand that it might seem expensive. These are about 80 bucks or so, but again, getting the cheap one isn't going to aid you at all. It's just really not. It makes it feel, even as smooth as this is, it makes it feel like it's a factory action that has had nothing done to it. So it's one of those things. I mean, you can see how smooth that is. Nice operation. So get good quality parts. Don't cheap out on magazines. And just, again, if you're going to spend the time to break in your barrel and everything, go ahead and break in your action too. It doesn't cost you anything. You're going to get it nice and smooth, and you can then practice dry firing and just sit there and continue. And it's going to help you as far as speed too on hand placement, because you're going to run that bolt, and it's going to instantly pop to that position. And again, all this is doing is just getting you to know your gun. It's going to help you in the field. Again, smooth everything out before you hit the field. Practice with your equipment, learn it. And again, you don't have to go shoot a bunch of rounds or spend a bunch of money to do it. You can do it right in the comfort of your home without ever firing a single shot.